Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, the storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the fam.
Hello. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. We are so glad to have you with us on this Transformation Tuesday. We are blessed to have our sister Denise back with us and on this side in the US, and we are excited for what she will be able to share with us today. We've missed you, Denise. We appreciate how much you were able to be with us in spite of all the things that you had going on and all the activities and the impact that you were making in Grenada. But man, is it good to have you here. So we are looking forward to more of you. It makes me smile every time I see your name. So yay. I'm excited about this Tuesday. One, just because you are with us, and two, because we're all here. I am excited to be here. Got our brother Brian with us as well, Mr. Content. Brian, I was watching some of the commercials yesterday that are fairly new. I think they were a part of Super Bowl. And there was a new word that came up. Oh, it had dad in it, like dadcation or something like that. And I had it last night because every time that commercial came up, I thought about you. And it was showing dads in different scenes. One of them was a dad who was paying homage to his dad. And he was talking about how strong his dad was, how dependable his dad was. But his dad was not one that really showed emotion. And so he's a father now. And he was saying how much he enjoyed showing that softer side of him, his emotions and things with his children. He showed his struggles to his children. He let his children know when he was working through things because they needed to learn that life wasn't always perfect. Things happen, but they could depend on him to work through them with them or on their behalf, depending on what the situation was. And so as those commercials were playing, I kept thinking about you and Bree, and I was like, there's Brian. There it is. There's a man who gets it. He can pick up a hammer and fix anything. At the same time, he can get down on the floor and play the games with his daughter and even do her hair. So, a man among men are the men who, in my opinion, can show both sides of themselves and are not afraid to be vulnerable and show their children how and why, and more of them. Back when I was younger, dads were providers, and they showed strength, and you didn't know much about the dad, the man, and the dad and the struggle and the things that they went through. And so I'm glad that we've evolved, transformed to a place to where it's more out loud and more open, and we share. Our kids know, they don't think that everything is perfect, because when things aren't perfect in their lives, they're older and they're managing their lives. They need to know how, right, to manage that. And so, Jay's having tech issues. I can see he's trying to get in, but hopefully he will be able to work through that and be with us shortly. But I just wanted to tell you that before I fell asleep into this deep sleep that I went into last night, I thought, as I saw those commercials, I really thought about you, because I see you setting that example for not only for your family, but for the world. Being a dadpreneur is a part of the characteristics that you bring into everything that you do. And I just think it's so needed and so important, that we see the full man, a full man, not just a part of a man that society typically, relegates you guys to. So kudos to you for that. I see we have quite a few folks who have joined us. Did you unmiked? Go ahead, Brian, and you can respond. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say thanks. You made my morning. That's it.
You're welcome. You are welcome. Salma said, "Ooh, I'm so excited for this. Voice acting has always been a dream of mine." Joseph says, excited to be here. Camille, hey Camille. She says, good morning. Loving the beginning intro. That has to be Jay, harmonized angelic voice. That's exactly who that is. Jay pulled that intro as well as the extra together for me. That's what I love about the fam. We all have our ideas, and what it is that we're working on, but everybody will sprinkle a little something into it and season it up and make it taste just that much better. So yes, that is all Jay. Camille also says, I'm excited for the conversation. Conchita says, greetings on this terrific Tuesday. It's going to be an amazing day. Conchita is one of those people that brings all that positivity. So I can't even say her name. I have to sing her name. Conchita. So if y'all can tell, I am in a great mood. It's a wonderful day. I've been up and at it already for 3 hours. My first meeting was at 4:30 this morning. I was telling the fam right before we started. I think a lot of you guys saw me in India. So I've got a team there, and we had an HR meeting 4:30 this morning, and so I got up and I did it, and I was worried about how I was going to feel for this. But if you can't tell, let me tell you, I feel great. I am excited to be here. I am grateful to be alive, and I am looking forward to sharing with you guys on this Transformation Tuesday. So I do have a quote for you, and it's one that I really like. It comes from none other than the great Albert Einstein, who said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. That's something to ponder on, right? The thinking that you used to get to the place where you are, the place that you would like to move away from, is not the thinking that is going to get you from that place. Something has to change. Yes. If you want something different, you have to do something different. You have to be ready to change. You have to be okay and looking for the opportunity to create a transformation in your life. Can't have a transformation without change, right? Those two go together. And so you've got to do something different. And where we have the most impact, where it's most important that we do something different, is right here. It's in our thinking. It's in our mindset. It's in how we show up mentally. So, whatever thought you into that situation, it's important to understand that, to step back and to do some evaluation and to take a look and go, how did I get here? What has been my journey to this point? And you can't look externally. Yes, things can be crazy on the outside. Yes, you may have a boss that makes you crazy. Maybe you've got children that are just not following what you've taught them. Maybe your relationships are strained. Whatever the situation is, if all of your focus is on the other person, if all of your focus is on what's external, you're focused on the things that you have absolutely no control over. I shared with you guys, though, it's been a long time ago. I'll have to pull it out again. I wish I thought about it for this morning. There's a circle, and it shows our sphere of control. The things on the inside of the circle are the things closest to you, the things that you can actually control. Your thinking, your attitude, how you show up. You can control those things. You can control you and how you respond versus react to situations. Those are the things within your circle. It's all about you. Outside of your circle, how people respond to what you say, how they process what you intended, good, bad, or indifferent. You can't control how they receive it. You can't control how they respond. You can't control what they do, right? And the bigger the circle gets, and we spend so much of our time focused on those things. and they are absolutely out of our control. So you have to focus on you. Am I showing up with integrity? Am I being a person of my word? Do I keep my word to me? Because we have more of a tendency to think about our integrity and how we show up and making sure we follow through with other people. But what about with you? If you can't count on you to do the things that you committed to for yourself, you've broken relationship with you. And I don't think we think about it that way, right? But you have to, because that foundational relationship, that ability to count on yourself, that ability to know without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to follow through, you're going to do the things that you say you're going to do, you're committed. Those are the things that get you towards your goals. The relationships that you have with everyone else, absolutely important. But a lot of times those are pouring into their goals and what it is that they want to accomplish. So you have to be just as clear about you and what's important to you and what it is that you're trying to do for you. It sounds really selfish. And we were in yoga last night, and the yoga instructor said something that I don't think I'll ever forget. I've always said things like, I heard Jan Levan Zant years ago saying that taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's self full, because we have to fill ourselves up in order to have what we need to help others. Last night, the yoga instructor said, she was really, speaking positively over us for taking that time last night for self-care and showing up for ourselves and giving our bodies what they need. And she said, because self-care is not selfish, it's sacred. I almost rolled off my mat. That was so good. It just stuck with me immediately. It's not selfish, it's sacred. If you really believe that your body is a temple, if you really believe that you're here for a purpose, if you really believe that there's a mission that lives inside of you that you need to bring forth in order for the world to receive a portion of what it needs, taking care of you is sacred. And if you don't believe all those things that I just said, even more self care is required, because we need to do the inner work. We need to find that negative self talk. We need to find that self doubt. We need to find the things that have blinded you so that you're not seeing the value that is intrinsic in you, the value that is just because you are, not because of what you accomplished, not because of who you married, not because of where you live, not because of a title, not because of anything other than the fact that you are you. Intrinsic value lies right there. You can always pour on top of it, but the core value is merely the existence of you. When you see value in that, you're getting it, you're understanding, and you've put yourself into a position to where you are living a life full of possibilities. Anything is possible when you see yourself as valuable and purposeful. And that's what I hope and pray for each and every one of you, that if you know nothing else in this world, you know that you're valuable and that you're here for a purpose. And in order to reach that purpose, you have to work on your thinking. You have to understand that inner messaging, and where it's not serving you, do the work to reframe it so that you can get out of your way. Because the thing that is standing between you and the life that you were born to live is you. 99.99999% of the time, it is you. It's you and your stinking thinking. You and your focus on lack instead of abundance. You and not being able to see just how wonderful you are as you. You not believing that you're capable. You not believing that you're deserving. Those things are in your way more than the external stuff. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't be celebrating. Y'all see my tribal look today. It's Black History Month. For some people don't care. Some people don't think it's necessary. Peace be with you. I care. I will always think it's necessary. I don't think I'll live long enough to be in a world where we still don't have the divisiveness and work to do. So it's important to me. And when I think about where my ancestry came from, if my ancestors didn't think differently, I wouldn't be able to sit here today and have a conversation with you. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I wanted to do. I would just have to do what I was told, right? The world is so different now than it was 25 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. So different. And where did that difference come from? People changing their thinking, because the thinking is what fuels the action. If you're not thinking that things need to change, you won't take any action to implement that change. It all begins with your thinking. So when you look around and you go, this is not it. This is not the life I want. This is not how I want to live. This is not it. This is not where I want to work. This is not what I want to do. This is not the type of relationship I want. Step back and start to think. How have I contributed to this situation? That's always a hard question. And it's not victim blaming. When you're in a bad situation, you're not to be blamed for the fact that you're in that situation. However, you can't completely relieve yourself of that thinking either, because you need to know what thoughts, what actions led you to be there. How did you make yourself vulnerable? Maybe you have to think about it, even though it's hard. Even in a situation where you say, no, they were just wrong. They mistreated me. Were there signs along the way that it was coming? Or is there something that you can learn from that situation? Not so that you blame yourself, but so that you arm yourself never to be there again. So that you prepare yourself, so that you see it coming well before you get into it the next time. That's what that reflection is about. It's never about blaming yourself. It's never about letting the other person or the situation off the hook. That's usually where people's mind go. So it gives you an excuse not to do that thinking. But in every situation that I've been in, I've learned something from that situation by allowing myself to go there and see, are there patterns in my life? Are there ways that I show up? Are there places where I put blinders on? Are there adjustments that I can make so that I don't recreate this very uncomfortable situation that I'm working to get out of now? We see patterns. We're energy. We draw the same types of people. So, if you don't like the fish that you're catching, you got to change your bait. You have to change your bait. You can't keep throwing the same bait in and get upset when you catch the same fish. Change your bait, change your location, right? Do something different. You have to change something in order to have something different than what you already have. And that begins with your thinking. All right, we've had quite a few comments come in. Jay, I'm glad you were resilient and pushed through your tech issues and are here with us. Y'all, we've got the whole fam together. It has been a while. We don't get everybody together nearly as often, just because everybody is busy, and we make as much time for each other and to be supportive as possible. But life keeps lifing for us too. And we have to do the best we can. But when we are all together, for me, it's something to celebrate. So it's just adding to my excitement for this Transformation Tuesday. So let's take a look. Conchita says, love it, Cassandra. Big energy this morning. High vibrations. That's right. I am vibrating on full throttle this morning, Conchita. Joseph says, awesome. You've a team in India, Cassandra. I'm looking for work at the moment. Remotely, I might get to help with UI, UX design skills. Let me know what you think. This opportunity will really be great for me, as I've been out of work for some months now. So Joseph, you can message me your resume so I can see where you're located. And if there's anything that's available, and I will definitely let you know, and I can share it around with some of the other managers. There's my handsome cousin Douglas giving us a hand clap. Sonia says, good morning, fam. Tanya says, amazing start to the day. Brian Bing says, perfect way to start the day. And Camille said, that was so powerful, Cassandra. Thank you. Coming from one of the most powerful women I know. I appreciate that, Camille. And I know we've been having some tech issues rolling as people have been dropping on and off the stage. But I want to start with you, Denise. I would love to hear from you. What's going on this Transformation Tuesday for you? If you want to speak to the quote, or maybe you've got something different that you'd like to share, however you'd like to come, ma'am, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Good morning. My body and my brain, I'm so happy to be here. My body, I was telling you and Brian this morning, is confused. So uh, it's on that time warp thing. So I'm coming around though. I'm coming around. I landed, late Sunday. And so I'm still trying to figure it out. So happy to be here. So blessed. Hi, everybody. Everybody looks great. Even Brian's little circle avatar there.
He's a cartoon man.
So, I got up and I had to look at the time. It was still dark outside. And I was like, I'm sitting here on wide awake, but also tired, and couldn't sleep anymore. And I looked at the quote, and what jumped out at me, I was like, wait a minute. I had to say, wait, what? And I had to read it again, because the second part of it, it was like that we used to create them. And I had to think, I was like, wait, so when there's trouble, when there's a problem, am I creating it? That's where my brain went automatically. It
Mhm.
was like, am I a part of creating some of my own troubles? Am I a part of creating some of my own problems? And I thought about it and I said, I do agree that definitely I got to think different than where I was thinking to get here. And then I
Mhm.
started thinking about that self-talk. And then I thought about, while I was listening to you, I said, and this is what you really reminded me of, a conversation that I had yesterday. And I had to remove myself from the conversation. And
Mhm.
what I used as my way of removing it was just being tired. I said, maybe. Internally, I said to myself, what the person said was so off-putting and it sounded so negative. And here we are in a business meeting, and I thought it might be that I'm tired. Maybe my brain, excuse me, is not, hitting on all cylinders. Let me remove myself, because my response felt negative as well. And I said, you know what? Can we reschedule? I'm so tired. My brain does not feel like it's necessarily hitting on all cylinders, so
Mhm.
that I can come back with a mindful response and make sure that I'm giving you 100%. And the person, of course, was very accommodating and said, you know what, I really appreciate that. And I actually had to move some things around just to make this, and I am distracted. So I would love a reschedule, which we reschedule for today. But when I got off the phone and I'm thinking about it this morning, and I was like, the only person I can control is myself.
Right.
I can't control where anybody else is coming from. I can't control whether that approach to our unique problem that we're having with this project was definitely not positive. So we'll address that today. But I can still control Denise. I can still control Denise's response. I can still control, am I going to contribute to the trouble that's about to brew, or the trouble pot that looked like it's coming about? Or can I say, hold on a minute. Um, can I get back to you on that? Or can I go think? And I just knew my brain was so tired. I wasn't sure if I was receiving it properly or not. So it's a short and sweet message. Control what you can. Worry about what's coming out of your mouth. Worry about
Mhm.
your mindset and how you're thinking, and where you can help and be positive. Sometimes it's to step back. It's to step back and say, I might have to regroup on this one, especially if in that moment you don't have anything to say. We don't have to fill the air with words. Sometimes it's short and sweet, and sometimes it's taking a step back. And I've been doing that a lot lately, and it's been such a huge part of my growth and my improved communication and my self-talk. It's been such a big part of my self-talk, mostly, that I just take a moment and get quiet and step back when I need to, and then come on back in, come on back in stronger, come on back in more positive. That's it.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I missed you, sis. I'm so glad that you are back. Take good care of yourself. Your body's a little stressed at the moment, as you know. So when you feel the need to crash, crash, get your rest, keep hydrated, do all the stuff that you know how to do so you can get back to 100%, because the value that you bring is missed when you are not here. Um, I found the wheel as you were talking, because I started by talking about the things that we can control, and you wrapped it up so beautifully. So I thought I would share this with you guys. The things that I can control are the things in the inside of the circle. My response to others' behaviors, boundaries I've set with others, how I let other people affect me, how I forgive others, where I give my time, energy, and attention. And sometimes we forget that, and we act like our time, energy, and attention doesn't belong to us. It belongs to you just as much as your finances or any material thing that you have. Something that's really valuable to you. Maybe you put it up a little bit higher on the shelf so the kids can't knock it over. Something that's really valuable to you. You're mindful about who you entrust it with. Well, guess what? Your time, your attention, and your energy are the most valuable things that you have. They feed your life. So you can't just willy nilly just throw that out there, Cassandra. It's preaching to myself. I'm so glad that I can see me, there's a reflection of me when I'm talking, because a lot of times the messages are for me and my time, my energy, my focus, my most precious resources. I need to treat them as such and not just give it away, throw it out there to any and every distraction that pops up. If I do that, I'll be very, very busy, but I won't necessarily be productive and have myself on the path to create the life that I desire. And how I speak to others. That's the other thing within the circle that I can control. The things that I cannot control: how others feel, how others behave, how others react, if others forgive me. I can be as remorseful as possible. I can say I'm sorry a million times and mean it with every bit of my being, but I can't control whether or not you receive it. How other people, I can't control other people's boundaries, can't control the future, can't control the past. Let's see, these old eyes are getting me. The beliefs and perceptions of others, the attitude of others, what's happening around me, what others say, and what others think about me. And that's one that keeps us so imprisoned. We are so careful at times about what we do and how we show up, not because how we're showing up and what we're doing is what we really want or how we really feel, but we're so afraid that it'll be off putting to somebody else that we slam ourselves into these little boxes, you know? I'm glad that Denise continued this part of the conversation, and it gave me a chance to share this with you because this was heavy on my mind as I started to speak this morning. Hopefully this is helpful with you guys. Let's see. Camille said that was so powerful, Cassandra. Someone said greetings from Kurdistan. Your name didn't show up, so whoever said that, feel free to drop your name. Conchita, Cassandra, that's a powerful visual to remind us of our capabilities. Thanks for sharing. And then she said, as well as our limitations. Love the visual, Cassandra. Great reminder to let go of things we can't control and focus on what we can. That's it. That's the message. Let go of the things that you can't control and focus on what you can. Because in doing that, your time, your energy, it's well spent, and you will actually start to create the change that you so want. If you're focused on all of that stuff outside the circle, you are spinning your wheels. You are spinning your wheels and you won't get anywhere. You'll be tired. You'll be busy, but you won't be productive. You won't be in a space where you're creating the life that you so desire. So just be mindful of that. I've got this. If anybody really wants this wheel as a reminder, let me know. Actually, I'll try to remember after this to post it to the to today's post so that you guys can have access to it. So that's the wheel that I was thinking of. I noticed that we've got a few other folks that have joined us. Miss Caramel Cutie, CC Marie, my daughter, says good morning, Grand Rising's daughter, and Laura Barber. Laura and I grew up in the same small town northeast of Dallas. It's great to see you there. Hope all is well with you and the family, Laura. All right, so let's see. Jay and Brian are the next two with us. Brian, you've been in and out, so let us know how your technology is treating you right now. If you can speak, go ahead, and we'll give it over to you.
Horrible. It's treating me horrible. I don't
I
know
can
if
see
Jay's
that.
any better. Yeah, I don't know if Jay's any better, but we
You
can let
sound
Jay
great right
go.
now. You're coming through really clearly.
Okay, okay, cool. Well, let's get this out the way while I still have some connectivity.
Yes, let's take advantage of it.
so, so Transformation Tuesday. It's one of those days that I reflect on fondly because it's how we got our start. I talk about it all the time. You are the actual mindset queen. I can't tell you how powerful having, look, you can roll your eyes all you like. I can't tell you how powerful having a suitable mindset is and what it means to be part of a collective or a mastermind, right? When you're a part of something bigger than you, then you start to realize, one, just really how insignificant you are as an individual, right? On this plane in this life. Like, it's so much more than just about you. But the second thing that happens, this is the powerful part. The second thing that happens for me is I start to think like the people in the mastermind. And by that, I mean, I still maintain myself, but the things that are important to you that we said we would work towards attaining for you, now I start to think about those things, right?
Mhm.
When Jay says, "Hey, I got this storytelling bid, and I need to get this book finished, and I need to do this, and I need to do that." Guess what? I start to see things that relate to what Jay needs. I save those things and I give them to Jay. Now, at some point or another, Jay grabs one or two of those things and he puts them into play. And if we are in tune, it turns what Jay does into something major. Same thing goes for Cassandra. Same thing goes for Denise. The same thing goes for Bree, right? Anybody that's close to me, when we become a part of that collective, we are transforming our minds into what God intended us for, right? We're not just living in silos anymore. We are
Mhm.
working together for the greater good. And that greater good is what this is all about. That's what real transformation is. It's realizing you're not in it alone, right? You're in it with a collective of like valued, like hearted, like soul, like spirited individuals that will help you the same as you're helping them. And I'm gonna end this with the I can't remember the exact quote, but it speaks to when you help others. When you help someone else get to the top of the mountain, you know what you realize? You're at the top of the mountain also. Transform your way of thinking and you'll transform your life. If you're feeling like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't move, you know what I do when I'm feeling like, oh, I can't get anything done? I stop doing things for me and I do things for other people. I realize at that point, it's not just about me. And when I make it about somebody else, I get the things that I need also. That's real transformation.
Love it. Absolutely. Love it. The technology did you well. You came through loud and clear, and you dropped a powerful message. So we are so glad that that was the case. I also see that Michael has joined us, my VA. Welcome, Michael. Thankful for you to be here and for you every day and all the stuff that you do to help support my business. You are amazing. So if you guys need a VA, I don't keep him busy full time. So if anybody's looking to extend their reach and you need somebody to help you get organized, help you with get your posts scheduled, whatever it is that you might need, reach out. I'll tell you about Michael and introduce you because he has been an amazing addition to my team. And I had a meeting with him and a couple other people about, I don't know, it's been over a month now. Brian was in that meeting. And I was using Zoom so I could see everybody in the little squares. And it was my first team meeting. I knew that, the first quarter of every year is super, super busy on the job, and that takes the majority of my time and mental focus. So I was concerned because I had a lot that had built up leading into the end of 2023. And I didn't want to just fall off the face of the earth and not be able to keep things going in 2024. And so I met with Brian and Michael, and I was like, I need you guys. I need the team to help because there's going to be times where I physically won't be able to be there. There's going to be times where, I'm going to drop the ball because I'm trying to do so many different things. And as I was starting to talk, I looked at the screen and I went, oh my gosh, I have a team. Even though we had spoke, even though we were all doing different things, it just didn't dawn on me until that moment. And our lives are like that. Guys, you're working, you're progressing, things are changing. And every once in a while, you need to stop and look at the screen. You need to stop and take stock and see the transformation that's already taken place. You may not be fully where it is you'd like to be, right? But you're not where you were. And if you can just stop and take stock every once in a while, you will be so encouraged. I think you'll be shocked at how far you've come, because we're focused on that end goal, right? And we see that down the road. And it's like, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. But if you ever look that way and see how far you are from the starting point, you'll be absolutely amazed. And it's good for you to do that every once in a while, because it will encourage you, it will re-energize you, it will help you stay on course and to continue to move towards the goals that you have. That was a pivotal moment for me when I remember when I realized that this was a business, that there was something here that people wanted, that I had something that I could contribute. That wasn't the original plan. I was just blogging and talking about the things that were on my heart and hoping that they helped somebody. And things just took off from being obedient to that call. And everything else came from doing those things. To me, the little things, having my very first vision board party is actually where it all began. And little did I know that that was starting something, sparking something that would become a collective like this and so many other things. So start. When you feel that tug, take the first step. Don't worry about the 99th step. Don't worry about the final step before you cross the finish line. Take the first step. Progress over progression, over perfection. Progress over perfection. Keep moving forward. If you could only see that one step, take it. I promise you, when you take that step, the next step will appear. And one by one, choice by choice, you're going to get there. That's that pace phase we talked about when we talked about the 4 P's, right? Pace is so important. And that's where we get so weary. We get frustrated because it's not happening fast enough. But give yourself that time to really develop and the skills that you need to support the life that you're working for. It's going to happen if you stay committed and keep taking those steps. So before I go on too long, Jay, save me from myself, brother. Save me from myself. Jump in here and tell us what's on your heart this morning.
Well, I think you're doing fine. If I saved you, maybe we wouldn't have the nuggets that you've already given. So if you want to, I'll just shut up.
I don't ever want that, but I am going to read the comments that came in since Brian and I have spoke, and then when I finish that, it'll be over to you. My mom, Joanne Ellis, is here. She said, "Good morning, fam." Camille said, "Brian drops mic all the time." All the time. Conchita says, "Powerful download, Brian. When you help someone else make it to the mountaintop, you have arrived also." I love that. And can't y'all see the visual? Let me see if I can get out of the way. Let me see. Can I show y'all? Oh, I can't get my chairs in the way. There's a mountain. Y'all see the mountains around me? There's an eagle soaring over my head, and there's actually 2 people standing together on one of those mountains that, as Brian was talking, I was thinking of. I absolutely love that visual. Joanne Ellis, my mom, says, "Say it, daughter." Exactly. Start. And Douglas Redwine says, "Progress over perfection." Camille says, "Pace is grace." I love that, Camille. Love it, love it, love it. And my mom said, "LOL. Yes, Jay has something to say." And she's been waiting. I bet she's been like, "Oh, I wish my daughter were hush so I can hear what Jay has to say this morning." Sometimes I text her when she's not here. Jay preaching, Jay dropping it. Oh man, I'm missing it. So please put my mama out of her misery, Jay, and go ahead and drop your what's on your heart on this morning.
Absolutely. Mama J, this is for you. So we'll talk about Abraham. So we're going to Genesis chapter 17, verse 5. No longer shall your name be Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. And I've talked about this before, right? The transformation. Many parts of the Bible talk about many iconic figures of the Bible who transformed themselves as a
Hmm.
result of their faith, though. So in the secular world, we can talk about it in the sense of having faith in ourselves and what we could do. But for those of us who believe, right, who are Christians and who refer to the Bible, we look at God as being our redeemer and the person who guides us in our daily lives. So really it's important to take a look at those transformations that occur. And if we look at the name Abram and then Abraham, there's a subtle difference. It's pretty much the same, but there is a difference.
You're muted, Jay.
So Abraham means father of many nations.
Hmm.
Abram means exalted father. So, but for years, he and his wife could not conceive.
Right.
For years and years and years. He was actually in the twilight of his years, and he was even questioning God at one point. Are you sure about that?
Right.
And we
His
do
wife
this.
laughed.
We do this, right? We do
His
this
wife was like,
as
"You got jokes. You funny."
right. I'm not. What are you talking about? Come on. And and so I, I'm getting it on my heart to talk to somebody who may be thinking about um, having children, and you know there's definitely transformation in that, right? And it may be difficult, you may be having some problems, but you know let's look at the Bible and look at Abraham. He really had faith when God said, yeah, you are going to be a father of many nations. He was like, okay, well, let's see let's see what happens. And really, he is. Abraham is at the core of three very large faiths in the world, right? So think about that, because he is the father of many nations and he had the faith to follow it through. Um, and I'm just also thinking about some of the things that were talked about
Hmm.
um, this morning as well. You know, when Brian was talking about the collective, right? So I'm from an island, and we know, I've seen people raise crabs. So hear me out. Where's this going? If you've ever seen crabs in a barrel,
Hmm.
now I've seen crabs in a barrel, raised in a barrel, 55-gallon steel drums, right? Filled almost to the top, almost
Almost.
to the, yeah,
Hmm.
just you can hear him scratching in there, and but none of them could ever get out. Maybe one or two might, but that's it. And you wonder why? Why are they not getting out of there? Sometimes, we might have to put, a guard on top of it, but for the most part, we didn't. And it's because of just the survival mentality. Like, I need to get out of here, and I'm going to do everything I can to get out of here. And that means clawing my way past people. And all that did was put him right back in that barrel. I saw it time and time again. And I was, as a kid, I would just look at them and, laugh. And I'm like, Don't they know? And they didn't, you know. But if they locked arms
Work together.
and worked together, they could really do something and get out of that barrel.
So don't
And
be a crab in your mentality, be an ant.
y-
Ants
be
are relational. Ants are going to come together. Ants are going to, it doesn't matter how large the obstacle is, they will form in their colonies, they will work together and they will overcome that situation. Where the crabs, instead of linking arms, working together, figuring it out, taking down the large obstacle, the crabs jump on each other's back and keep pulling one after the other back down into the situation that they all want to get out of. Are you a
Make that a
crab
shirt.
or are you an ant?
Make that a shirt. Are you a crab or are you an ant?
your net.
Are you a crab or are you an ant?
That will be a great conversational starter. Absolutely. And
Hmm.
the other thing that I was thinking about is, there's usually that one person
Hmm.
in a collective, in a community, in a family who goes around asking for advice from everybody, right? Let me get your advice on how do I do this? What I need to do
Hmm.
this. And then they'll pick your brain maybe for an hour or 2 hours and pick the
Hmm.
next brain of the next person in the collective. And at the end of it, stay exactly where they were.
Yep.
Like what is what was the point of you asking me, wasting my time thinking about what am I going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to stick to? And I get, you can get frustrated when that person comes around and asks you that all over again. Like I just told you this the last time, and you didn't follow what I said. Why am I going to talk to you again? So, but you have to understand that if you are part of a community, if you are part of a family that really cares about you, that really wants to lock arms with you and help you get out this barrel, then why don't you pay attention to the advice that's given, especially from somebody who's seasoned, somebody who may be older, who may have had multiple experiences more than you have in your life, right? Maybe it's somebody at work who has been there, who's a tenured person, maybe he's in the C suite, right? Man, you don't know what you're talking about. You've been here too long. You don't know. You don't know. What are you talking about? But this is the thing I'm saying though. When we come together as a collective, when we rely on each other in faith in one another, right? And for us who are believers, faith in God as well, man, imagine what you can do to transform yourself and those around you. This is the power of collective. This is the power of faith. And this ultimately leads to the power of internal transformation. So I wanted to talk about that.
Very good, Jay. We're getting lots of the comments are hot. They scrolling through. Christina says, where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is community, there is unity. Love that. And to you, Brian, Lisa says, Brian Smart brought it today. Coral says, fam. Dr. Marcia says, good morning, everyone. So did Dr. New. Camille says, I am faith. God truly has been by my side, front, back, and I am so grateful for the faith and love that continues to flow through Christ our Lord. I love when Jay tells us a story to explain his point. And Coral says, yes, we do question God. I know I do. My mom says, yes, Lord. Come on, Jay, preach that word. And then my girlfriend, Trina, she said, let me call my t-shirt lady right now. Love that. Are you a crab or are you an ant? Good morning. And then my mom says, come on, y'all. That's so good and so true. Exactly. Talk without action is no more than a conversation. So, do you want to have a conversation? Do you just want to talk? Or are you ready to change your thinking so that you don't continue to have what it is that you already have? Lisa says, always love when Jay relates the topic to a relevant Bible verse. Me too, Lisa. And then my mom is giving you hearts and hand claps. Yes, Jay. And Conchita says, yes, Jay, mic drop moment. All right. So you are definitely being felt. And that's what happens when you follow your heart. We pray before the show, and that's one of the things that we ask for is that we get self out of the way and that we allow the messages that are meant to be to flow through us. And Jay, you sure did that. You sure did that. And so did everyone else. And I am grateful for the collective. Y'all know when I talk about the collective, I always say the sum of the whole is greater than the equal of its parts. We are stronger together because we choose to be like the ant. We choose to be in relationship. We choose to lift each other up. We choose to be supporting. We choose to figure it out together versus, oh man, I see Jay getting a lot more followers than me. I better stop going to his stuff. Now you know why I wasn't there Saturday morning. You're getting too many followers. You're passing me up. Can't have that, bro. Brian.
You got me over here cracking up.
I told y'all I was in a good mood this morning. I've been up since 4:15. So with that lack of sleep comes a little silly. I'm going to share with you guys the visual one more time, just as a reminder. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. And Denise asked that question, am I really creating my problems? You know, the world creates plenty of problems for us. The question for me is, how am I contributing to falling in that hole? Why didn't I see it? You know, why didn't I read the warning signs? What was I doing? I've fallen in the same hole 4 times. Why can't I remember that it's there? What do I need to do differently so that I take a different path that's safer for me? That's the type of evaluation you do. You're not going to beat yourself up for falling in the hole. You are not going to, as a victim, blame yourself, but you do want to do some thinking and some deep thinking so that you don't keep finding yourself in the same situation over and over again. We relive our lessons in life until we learn them. Until we learn the message that was meant for us, the lesson that was meant for us. We actually have the same experiences over and over again. Maybe a little bit different. Maybe the environment's a little different, but it's the same circumstances. Look back at your life and find the patterns. When you can find a pattern that's leading you someplace that's not where it is you want to go, and you disrupt that pattern, now the opportunity to end up someplace else is present. You're changed how you think. You've changed how you're showing up. Therefore, you can change where you end up and how things unfold. So we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Thank you, Albert Einstein, for that one. I love that quote. So we are wrapping up. Let's see, a few more comments came in. Coral's clapping her hands. Joanne says, I'm so sorry that I missed you, Brian. I caught the end of your message, which was on point, even at the end. And she said, good morning, Denise. I'm so happy to hear your voice on today with a lot of hearts. Me too, Mom. I'm so glad she's here. So we are getting close to wrapping up. Those of you who can see my screen at the bottom, I want to soar.com is scrolling by. That is our upcoming challenge. We have a SOAR challenge that's kicking off on February the 20th. If you go to iwanttosoar.com, there's an assessment there. It has a few questions for you to answer and calculate your score at the end. And by calculating your score, it'll give you 1 of 4 responses on where you fall in your personal development journey. And you can then use that assessment. I can use that assessment for us to have a conversation and kind of help you figure out what it is you want to do next and how we can start to get you the skills and resources you need to accomplish that. So there's no charge for that part of it. And if you decide to be a part of the challenge, it's for 4 days, February the 20th through the 24th. Each day, we'll be learning about a different letter in SOAR. S is about identifying your strengths. O is about overcoming obstacles. A is about achieving your goals, and R is about building a resilient mindset. So each day we'll be doing activities and having conversation around each of those letters in SOAR, and those activities will help you get a deeper understanding of how you can implement those things in your life. So hopefully you guys can join us February the 20th through the 24th for the SOAR challenge. Go to iwanttosoar.com, complete the assessment, learn a little bit of something about yourself by how you answer those questions. And then if you want to continue on, my mom just made me laugh. Even if you want to continue on, join the challenge. And we would love to have you. Let's see. My mom says, great show, fam. Even at 70, I want to soar. Absolutely. We're going to soar until we can't soar no more. And Lisa says, always love the fam events. Different speakers bringing their perspectives on the same topic because everyone receives the message differently. Absolutely. And that is the power of connection and the collective and collaboration. And it is also why you should feel that you have absolutely no competition. Because how you process a thing and how you bring it forward, even if you're on the same topic, there are lots of mindset coaches. I go to their rooms. I read their newsletters. I learn from them. I'm not intimidated by them. I don't want people to not know about them because they have some value that they bring, and they bring it differently than I do. Even if if there was nothing before mindset coaches up here and we were all talking about transformation, our messages would be different. And some of us, and I would resonate with some of you, someone else would resonate with some of the rest of the audience, because the message has to be received in different ways or given in different ways for the larger audiences to receive it. People learn differently. And so don't worry about competition. Figure out how to collaborate and join forces with people who are trying to accomplish the types of things that you're trying to accomplish. Find your collective, find your fam, and let that collective move you forward, and you contribute to moving the collective forward. There is no better feeling. It's an amazing thing. So I love all the shares that we've had from everyone. My mom says, yes, daughter. So remember that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. That's the message for today. I am so grateful for each one of you all. Please go to iwanttosoar.com, get your assessment. And then there's a link to my calendar. Schedule a 15-minute session with me so we can talk about the results. And then we can figure out where to go from there. Hope to have you guys join us next week for the challenge. We will be back here tomorrow. So we're not going anywhere. We're still sticking to our regular schedule. Tomorrow is Wake Up Wednesday. We will be talking about the power of intentionality and how being intentional just supercharges you towards the life that it is that you desire. So join us for that. We are looking forward to it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of
guys, back here tomorrow, 7:15 a.m.
We hope that you join us tomorrow for another episode. For advertising or sponsorship questions, reach out to Cassandra or any one of the Fam 5 on their LinkedIn profiles. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.